Apple has finally dropped iPadOS 26 Beta 4, and the buzz around it is louder than ever. For those who have followed the evolution of iPadOS over the years, this latest beta marks a turning point not because of some radical new feature, but because Apple is finally listening to its most passionate users. What makes Beta 4 so exciting is the return of a fan-favorite design element: liquid glass. This isn't just about flashy visuals or unnecessary polish. It's about how iPad looks, feels, and behaves, and how every swipe and interaction feels more immersive, more fluid, and more alive. To understand why this matters, we need to rewind just a bit. When Apple first introduced the liquid glass design language in earlier betas of iPadOS 26, it instantly felt like a big leap. The translucent elements, the smooth gradients, and the depth effects gave the entire operating system a more modern, high-end look. It felt like you were using a device from the future, one where software didn't just function well, but also looked beautiful in every frame. But then came Beta 3, and with it, a strange shift. Apple pulled back. Many of the fluid, glass-like effects disappeared or were dialed down to a more muted, frosted appearance. The translucent effects that gave menus and control bars that floating, layered aesthetic were replaced with flatter, more opaque panels. This wasn't necessarily bad, but it did feel like a step backward. Users noticed. Fast. Across social media and forums, people voiced disappointment. The new design felt less premium, less dynamic. Some described it as frosted plastic instead of liquid glass. Others simply missed the visual charm that had made the earlier betas so exciting. That's why Beta 4 feels like a moment of redemption. From the moment you install it, something feels different. The splash screen alone sets the tone. It uses stylized, glossy typography that glistens like real glass. There's a subtle sheen to everything, a reminder that Apple hasn't abandoned its vision. It's just been refining it. After completing the setup process, you're greeted with a couple of new welcome screens. One talks about Apple Intelligence, including smart notifications that can summarize content in real time. Another screen mentions priority notifications, giving users more control over how alerts are displayed. These aren't core visual features, but they do signal Apple's deeper commitment to personalization and smarter interactions. Now, onto the real highlight, the liquid glass design itself. You can see it instantly. Open the App Store, scroll through content, and focus on the menu bar at the bottom. As you move through bright and dark elements, you'll notice that the background subtly shifts in tone. The translucent effect is back, and it's gorgeous. It's not the exact same implementation from betas 1 and 2. In fact, it feels even more polished, like a refined version of an already good idea. It's not just the App Store either. Open Apple Music and scroll through your library. The bottom control panel reflects the same aesthetic. The colors behind the bar shift, blur, and tint the interface in a way that looks smooth and intentional. It feels alive. One of the places where this is most noticeable is in the control center. Tap it, and everything feels richer. The background melts behind your toggles and sliders, creating a layered look that's both modern and functional. It's not just eye candy, it helps separate interface elements, making it easier to see what you're interacting with. This is where the liquid glass effect shines in usability. With Beta 4, Apple hasn't just brought back the effect, it has tuned it for legibility. That was one of the main complaints with early versions. As pretty as the transparency was, it sometimes made text hard to read. But now, the contrast is better. Buttons pop more, text stands out. It's beautiful and usable, a combination Apple strives for. Beyond the return of liquid glass, there are other smaller changes worth noticing. For instance, the camera app icon has been tweaked. If you compare it side by side with Beta 3, you'll see that the bold ring around the lens has been changed. In Beta 4, it's now more minimal. The heavy black circle is gone, replaced with a cleaner and more elegant lens icon. It's subtle, but it shows Apple's attention to detail. Next up is the wallpaper customization experience. While Beta 4 doesn't introduce brand new wallpapers, it adds something else: dynamic color shifting for the default wallpaper. Open your settings, go into customization, and you'll see a new toggle that lets the wallpaper change colors gradually. It's a soft, continuous effect, not flashy, but definitely immersive. It gives your home screen a fresh, evolving feel throughout the day. These small enhancements, taken together, point toward a clear direction. Apple is not interested in reinventing the wheel with iPadOS 26 instead. It's refining what already works, smoothing the edges, bringing back fan-favorite designs, and making iPadOS feel premium again. And perhaps the most important thing, stability. Even as Apple has reintroduced liquid glass, they've also made sure that the OS doesn't feel heavy or sluggish. Animations remain quick. Opening apps is fast. There's no stutter or lag. Everything feels responsive. If you didn't know this was a beta, you might think it was a final public release. Compared to Beta 3, where visuals were stripped down for the sake of performance, Beta 4 strikes a near-perfect balance. You get the beauty of Apple's best UI design with the performance of a mature operating system. It's the best of both worlds. Now, if you were waiting for Beta 4 to make the jump into iPadOS 26, this might be your sign. Not only does it look better, but it also feels better. And if you care about aesthetics, about how your device looks and feels as you use it, this update is absolutely worth it. Of course, not everything is perfect. Some users might have wished for new wallpapers, more icon redesigns, or deeper home screen customizations, but Apple has chosen its battles carefully. This update focuses on restoring the magic of iPadOS while keeping everything stable and fast. In short, Beta 4 brings liquid glass back, not just visually, but as a philosophy. It reminds us that software design can be both functional and beautiful, that performance doesn't have to come at the cost of elegance, and that user feedback matters because Apple clearly listened. As we wrap up section 1, here's what you should take away. iPadOS 26 Beta 4 is the most visually complete version of the beta so far. With its return to translucent beauty, its smoother transitions, and its small but meaningful design tweaks, it feels like the version Apple wanted to ship from the start. Whether you're an iPad power user, a casual browser, or someone who just loves good design, this update is for you.